corporation was trying to convince us that it's business as usual, that it's functioning as normal, but all the time it's in the active process of liquidation. That includes the UN, that includes Vatican, that includes London, that includes Swiss banking networks. It was all being seized by the Earth Alliance. Military, Department of Defense, America is the lead. The most developed military in the world, the United States of America, as they say, is the lead military in the Earth Alliance. Remember, I told y'all that they're looking for cause to start moving the National Guard in now under the martial law. It's something that we ain't noticing about the birth citizenship. That include all the judges and lawyers too. Once you become a noble with a title of nobility, right? Esquire, honorable, almost all attorneys are esquires. You are a stand-in royal. A stand-in royal is a sir. A sir is another title of nobility. If your part of the family deal with the management of land resources, then y'all become the land barons. The land barons and the family bankers are the ones secretly pulling all of the strings, because the land barons is trying to steal land that you can't take from heritable birthright. And the bankers is trying to cover it up with fraudulent contracts. The courts is the bank, right? When you at bar is what it's called. That means at the bank. A sandbar is a bank of sand that extends out into the water. So when you enter into the court, you enter into the bar or the sandbar, which is a protrusion, a peninsula of a bank, because the bank is the land surrounding the body of water that's not the sandbar, right? The reason why they call it the sandbar is the reference to the Plymouth, because they had to keep that ship out there in order to maintain the term called occupation. If you don't understand military occupation, then you don't even, that's why you can't unravel American history. The military occupation is something that happened as a result of a war and an invasion. If you go back to 2001, you can get a crash course in military occupation of two countries after 9/11, Iraq and Afghanistan. They handled both of them different, but they occupied both of them, right? One, they established a whole new leadership regime, right? And the other one, they just shifted the political party that was ruling out of the picture and put an alternative political party in power. The side effect to that is the political party they put in power was infiltrated by the political party that they ousted and then reclaimed under the same name that you put out there. And that's why they keep saying America never won a war. They say we won, but we always end up paying the bill like we losing. Look, the Cold War.
Right.
If you get a 1995, 85, 75 almanac, and you look for gross domestic product, gross national product, right? Then you look for economic aid. Go to the country of Russia, and it's going to tell you in there exactly how much annual aid Russia, the USSR, was getting from the United States. It roughly was about $6 billion a year, right? When Israel was established, America was paying Israel under the pretense of World War II reparations. So that means that we had to lose to Germany. Operation Paperclip.
Yeah,
right?
I was wondering why they was paying them, bro. You just told me that why, because I was like, damn, why we paying? They lost to Germany, the one that did them, you know.
So they want us to think we won the First World War, the Second World War. They want us to think that the same people won the Civil War, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, and the American Revolution. That's not the case. Anything that would cause what's called lose face, right? If anything caused you to lose face, that means you lose value in the presence of others. Then they have to cover that up. They don't want you to know they weak as they are, because they relying on you to let them use your strength that you don't even know you lending them.
I didn't even know that them. That's the reason why they were paying. Because I was trying to figure out, why is America paying Israel for what Germany did to them? They don't even make no sense. So now,
if you go
Germany,
through the almanac, almost every country America was giving economic aid to. Some of them is classified, most of them is economic aid or some kind of financial relief. Mm-hmm. And we the richest country in the world, but we paying every country in the world. Right. That don't make sense. You can't keep your status if you got a leak in your rear end.
Yeah. That's what Donald Trump said about that we was paying $300 billion or something to Canada every year. And then I know why they pay Japan. Japan is because of the they dropped the bomb on them, and that's like international type things when they got to But what's the deal on that? Go ahead.
The pride of the Japanese, they've been stopped accepting reparations for World War II.
Yeah.
You know what they're trying to do? They're trying to outdo America in auto manufacturing, clothing manufacturing, technical manufacturing, all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
And hold on one second now. This separate card.
Hey, y'all, if you just not tuning in, hit that like, hit that subscribe button, man. We got SikApe in the Northgate. We're going to take questions, get some of y'all questions from the crowd, man, so we can, take some of the questions y'all might have. And I got a couple of questions for Rod to start it out, and then we'll take questions from y'all. So if you're just not tuning in, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you share it. And we're going to crack heads and twist caps, man. You already know how Rod do it. We picking the lock here. We going through the time machine, and we piecing the puzzle together. Most of my questions is stimulated around. We're gonna get to your questions, Sugar Shane. Hey, most of my questions is stimulated around what's going on now. Hey, Rod. So you left off while Japan said that they don't want to take no money from U.S. dollars no more. Nobody wants the U.S. dollar for that matter.
Well, that was before BRICS.
Go ahead.
Japan is trying to outcompete in productivity and quality products. Hold on. Let's show you something. I was working at GM. They was telling us about this guy, to start doing research on him. His name is Dr. Deming, and he came up with this quality program for productivity, what they call quality control measures. The Japanese, when Ford, Chrysler, GM turned him down and said they didn't want to hear it. So because he was already an auto executive, he was going on a trip to Japan. He presented it to the Japanese auto manufacturers. This is where your Lexus come from, your Lexus and your Infiniti. So when he presented it to them, they was like, that's the key, because if you go back to before the 70s, and even in the 70s, When you seen something that has a stamp on it that said made in America, you knew you had some top of the line A1 best made stuff on the planet. Don't nobody do it like us. But now we doing everything using cheaper material, shortcutting the labor to maximize profits, and is making the products crap. So they stick to the quality dynamic. So they stealing our reputation by stealing our quality productivity ratio that we used to maintain, right? That's the difference in the architecture of old and the architecture of today. Some of these buildings is 20,000, 30,000, 50,000, 100,000 years old. They look like they was built 200 years ago. And some of these new buildings been around 30, 40 years. They look like it's time to tear them down. Right?
That's facts. Hey, now, but now that, okay, this is my next question for you, because we got Trump in there. He rolling out the plan. Well, people say, oh, he went down by paying 2025, but it seemed like to me he rolling it right out, straight out the gate. Now, this real ID thing, you heard anything about that? Because I looked it up and it said May 7th that they'll be rolling out this real ID. And
the real ID came out in 2010. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but it said like they had a mandate on there. I looked it up. I think it was 20.
Go look up what a mandate. You got a Google on your
law. Yeah, mandate not a law. I know mandate not a law. Law or request, a mandate or ordinance, a code. None of that. You know what I'm saying? We can get into that if you for my Moors. But I'm saying,
you know, we went over what a mandate is, and I know a lot of the sisters been around for a minute. They don't want no mandate.
They don't want no mandate. All right, we'll go to the next question. So my next question is, because people was asking, because I'm really going off the questions that the people asked in the recent shows. When Ron come back on, ask them this. Now, since Trump coming back in and he returning and kind of like returning it to the people. What does Mama Rabbert with her loyal title and everything? How does that play with all the empresses on the land and the ones that did claim certain things like the Washita tribe? I think it's shout out Empress Wendy.
So right now we don't have we know where all of the tribal leadership is located at, coming through military channels. As part of the continuity of government. This is how they know who to watch for the oral tradition, who to surrender paperwork to. The loyal title don't mean anything to the tribes over here amongst us. The loyal title is Europe's method of keeping track of what they steal and who stole it and when it was stolen, because they got to give it back. Them giving her the title was just letting them know that y'all, the gig is up. Y'all got us. Here's the receipt to show you that you got us. Right? It's the same with the first charter of the Bar Association that tell us that they told them to use the court system to take everything from us. And that's why we can't hardly win no court foreclosures on no fraudulent mortgages. It's all trickery, deception, fraud. 120 degrees of trigonology. Strike the shepherd and scatter the flock. Take the leaders out of in front of the people, and the people be perpetually confused. We ain't confused no more. We know that y'all took our leaders. We know that y'all holding them hostage. I'm not saying they criminals. I'm not saying that they did something wrong for you to put them in prison, because we was at war. And when you at war, you required to do some things that you wouldn't do if you was in peacetime. And if you take away the warrior's right to fight, defend the freedom of the people, you take away the right of the people to have freedom. So we know where they at. We know how you misled them. We know how you caught them when they was young, before they knew who they was, so that you can have them in your custody. You messed around and let one out the cracks.
Right.
You let one of the chiefs out the cracks. And I'm telling all of y'all government business, because once these sisters get it on the gossip circle and these babies understand how it work, y'all screwed. It don't matter what y'all do with me at this point. The baby's got it now, Elder.
That's right. And that's what the mission was, get the kids. Hey, this is my next question, because bringing up kids and, parenthood and things, Trump is going after guys with a child support system. Could you go in on how that system been rigged? Because I heard you a little bit before.
The child support system is what you call arbitrary operations. The friend of the court is not what people think it is. The friend of the court is supposed to be an independent person that carries the significant fact underlying to the elements of truth in the case, and they don't want to take sides with the prosecutor or the defense. They just need the court to know that this piece of information has been looked over, and I'm the only one that got it. I'm going to give it to you, and you do with it what you will. I'm coming as the friend of the court. It has nothing to do with child support. Child support, the Supreme Court of the state arbitrarily creates a collection team, a collection agency, and they insert the collection agency under the responsibilities of friend of the court. Right? Now remember, friend of the court use arbitration, they don't use adjudication. When they call you in for your child support, you got to go before a retired judge. Right? You don't go to court, family court, where juvenile procedures and divorces take place. It's a whole separate building because they don't have nothing to do with the court. It's an arbitrary collection agency. And there's nowhere written in the universe where you in debt because you gave birth or allowed a woman to be pregnant. There's nowhere in the universe. They can't never validate that debt using the Fair Debt Collection Act. The problem is they don't give a damn about your rights. You don't have any. Right? And because they don't have, they say we don't have any rights, and that ain't just us melanated, that's anybody that go in front of a judge in the courtroom. You don't have rights. Because you're not under the Constitution, you're under the Admiralty Uniform Commercial Code of Banking. You're not even in the same nexus and venue of judicial order that you're supposed to be under for violating the laws of the land. And don't say they don't got tribal courts. They all over the place. We just don't use them because we don't know no better. Tribal courts ain't never left.
Brother, that's getting. I heard a lot of different stories, crazy stories that I couldn't even believe that the court would go that keep on doing it. But it comes to find out, they said that's $1 billion in some industry, over $1 billion industry a year, stealing money from parents, like, with that child support system. It's $1 billion industry. So
more than that.
Huh?
It's more than that.
Yeah,
a lot of
the exact number, but it was high. That number was high as hell. That they told me, I almost fell out my chair when they said, "Damn, and they said that they make most of the money, like to pay out certain agents within that branch. Like they are, it's like a big Ponzi scheme, big hustle, pretty much, because they only give like 10-20% of the money they collect to the kid.
For a woman to put you on child support, that's the same as calling the police saying you committed a crime that you didn't commit.
Damn. I ain't look at it like that. That's right.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
That's all it is that's part of the feminist movement. That came out of the feminist movement. Most of us don't know. It's a book called Fatherless America. Everybody need to get it. Before the 1950s, the children were traditionally left with the breadwinner, which was normally the father.
Right.
Children didn't start being left with the mother until in divorces and separations, until they came out with something called government assistance. The government assistance was part of the tearing down of the families.
That's right.
Right. So you giving people the right to keep the child away from the other parent. That's not a right. Nobody had a right to keep the child from the other parent. That's not a right.
Right.
Right. The way that you deal with that is you have a family council. Normally it's 3 or 4 women from his side of the family, 3 or 4 women from her side of the family. And then they watch y'all while y'all interact with the children. Mm-hmm. And the most functional parent is the one supposed to have a child. If he a lazy slob, don't want to work, sit at home, play video games all day, he can't take care of no babies. Right? But if he get up, he go to work, you know what I'm saying, he got a good network of friends that helps him, he can take care of him just as well as she can.
Right.
Right? And it's the same with her. If she sit on the couch eating bonbons, watching soap operas all day, and the house look like a tornado hit it for no reason, then that's defeating the purpose of why she at home. Right? And if everybody have a role to play in the family structure, then everybody's supposed to play their role. The way that the system is designed to take that ability for each member of the family to play their role. Right? We used to have aunties come get the babies for the weekend because mama know where they at. They with her sister, they straight.
Right.
You don't do that no more. Because the aunties now marrying some guys with unsavory characters because they forgot how to vet a man.
That's right. You talking some stuff, bro. And you know, another thing that Doc said when Doc was talking about the same thing you talking about, and he said that when they was able